So we're going to move on, and this is going to be a slightly improved video where I've added some green boxes when you should submit your answers. Let's start off with our opening prayer. Hands together. May the wisdom of the all-compassionate one so shine within our hearts and minds this day, that we may be enlightened in our acts, thoughts, and deeds. So shall we learn to be true, good, and happy, and attain the spiritual peace. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. So, Unit 1 discusses the individual's rights, privileges, and responsibilities in living with a community of persons. This refers to page number 1 in your book or PDF. By the way, ignore these numbers at the bottom. They are just the slide number. They're not the page number of your PDF. This unit also explores the concepts of common good, principles of solidarity, economic society, and the civil society. They are critical in finding answers to queries such as: why is it important for the members of the community to work not just for themselves, but for the common good as well? So this is you can actually put your thoughts about this. Here's the green box, so answer and submit there. In future, I also may start adding numbers to those. I'm not sure about that. Okay, to the green box, I mean. So why is it important that for the members of the community, to work for them, not just for themselves, but for the common good? What's your thoughts on that? You can take a pause here. You can hit the pause button and then come back on once you've added that. You can also take a screenshot of this and you can add your text to that where underneath where you want the answer to go under here. So you can also slightly change the color, say blue or purple or something like that, easily readable, green, dark green, so that we can see that's the question, this is the answer. Let's move on. So still on referring to page 1. How can the concerted efforts of the members of the community create positive social change? How can the concerted efforts of the members of the community create positive social change? Well, so your answer, and you can submit that as well. Why is it important to delineate functions to allow the smallest, lowest, or least centralized authority to address matters under its circle of influence? Your answer, and then please submit. Right. Again, you can add that here. What can we contribute towards the creation of an inclusive and sustainable economic society? What can we contribute towards that? Answer and submit. How important are the advocacies and contributions of the civil society, media, and the church to social justice, economic viability, environment, peace, and gender equality? Your answer and submit. I should have a question actually, a question mark here. In this unit, we can find real-life examples wherein the concepts of common good, the principles of subsidiarity and solidarity, and social institutions are manifested. These include the challenges of our society is facing to establish a free society with law-abiding, God-fearing, value-laden, and productive citizens. Actually, I don't really like the term God-fearing. I prefer that they are citizens who respect the divine. The difference between respecting and fearing, I think. Values such as social responsibility, teamwork, delegation, equality, interdependence, and cooperation are highlighted and closely linked to how we live with others in a community. So that's the end of the introduction. Now, this refers to page 2. What is the common good? To work for the common good is the greatest creed. Woodrow Wilson, he was a president of the USA in the last century. Does your family have an area at home which everyone can use, but none can claim as his or her exclusive domain? Answer and submit. Does your barangay have a common place for the residents? There's your question. Answer and submit. Often the purpose of the common areas in our house, like the living room or dining area, and in a community, such as the village clubhouse, an open space in the barangay, or the town plaza, is taken for granted. They are common areas because they are for everyone's use, and so that all may benefit from them. They are for the common good. How do you understand the term common good? Please answer and submit. You can pause at any of these points where there's a green button just to take your time to answer properly. In this lesson, we shall learn more about and discover the importance of the common good. So, victories of life, the yellow boat of hope. Through a social media site, Les1 discovered the story of school children who have to swim just to get into school in the mangrove village at Layag in Zamboanga City. Fueled by the desire to help, Jay and his friends started a national movement to help the school children by providing them boats to ferry them from their home to the school. The Philippine Funds for Little Kids, which later became the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, handed over its first yellow boat on March the 27th, 2011. Soon after, school children from other communities in Talon, Zamboanga City, in Islamabad, Monreal, Masbate, and in Lakewood, Zamboanga del Sur, also received their yellow boats of hope. The yellow boats allowed the school children to go to school safe and dry. The boats were for the use of the school children, but not owned by anybody. It is clear that the boats were for the common good. The mission and advocacy of the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation has expanded to supporting poor communities with school supplies, medical, dental missions, scholarships, and the implementation of various livelihood programs. Their programs include building boats and structures, such as dormitories and bridges, to support school children who need to traverse long distances and perilous paths in getting to school. Now we're on to page 3. If you look at the top right-hand corner, you'll notice when it changes colour, we're onto a new page. The Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation proves that kindness knows no physical boundary, culture, and economic requirement. All it takes is a heart, courage, and perseverance to do the common good. So that's the end of the story. You can discover more at their website, yellowboat.org. So the question, so what is the problem? What's the problem of the students? You can answer and submit by pausing at this point. They find it difficult to go to school because they need to swim in the water. They do not have boats. Our next question. What did J. Habonita do to help solve the problem? Answer and submit. Pause. Jay Habanita co-founded the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, which provides boats for the school children. Now take a watch of this video. Oops, I'm not hearing any sound. Now, why is that? Okay, I'm just going to pause and sort the sound out. Just bear with me a moment. Let's see if the setting here is correct. Okay.
Waking up very early in the morning just to be able to attend school.
Just a minute. Oh, what a mess. Okay. We're back again.
Pag hindi mo naman nilalagay sa plastic yung mga gamit nila, binibilad na lang sa araw.
I'm going to go back one, and there we go. Now let's go. Okay, should be all right now.
We always hear of kids in Manila who skip school to go swimming. But here were kids who go swimming so that they can go to school.
The common stories we hear are them walking across mountains. Sometimes, they have to cross rivers, but not to the point na getting themselves wet. Waking up very early in the morning just to be able to attend school.
Pumapunta kami sa school, nababasa lagi kasi naglilangoy. Kasi walang bangka. Ang tatay namin sa loud. Mahirap pagkatapos po yung paa namin matatamaan ng bato pagkatapos masugatan ng taba. Kung hindi po punta ang tatay namin sa loud, wala kami makain.
Nababasa po yung bag niya, tsaka yung mga notebook, paper. Tapos pag hindi mo naman nilalagay sa plastic yung mga gamit nila, binibilad na lang sa araw. Na-experience namin, hindi kami nakatapos, nahirapan kami. Kaya gusto namin ng anak namin makatapos para naman sa kinabukasan niya yun eh.
Una-una sila papasok, paminsan din pag high tide, lumangoy. Pag low tide, doon sila sa putikan, maglalakad. Kasi mahirap, walang bangka, walang masasakyan nila.
Just because it's okay for them to swim to go to school doesn't make it right. It bothered Jay also. That's why when he went to Manila, we continued our communication.
Nag-post lang ako ng status sa Facebook na I just came from Zamboanga City and I heard of this inspiring story. So, ang daming donors and within 1 week, nakalikom kami agad ng 70,000 pesos. Nagsimula kami sa isang bangka na malaki na kaya niyang magdala ng mga 25 to 30 kids. Ngayon, sa buong Pilipinas, may mga 154 na yellow boats. Yung iba demotor, yung iba walang motor, ang aming napagawa para sa mga bata at para na rin sa kanilang mga magulang.
ang bilang mga paa namin o mga kamay namin ay hindi kami makalalakad pag wala ito.
Yung wala pa kaming nabigyan ng bangka na malaki, yung mga anak namin kung papunta doon sa school, sa talon-talon, lumalangoy pa rin sila.
If they continue convincing their kids or encouraging their kids to go to school, things can change.
Naging symbol na ng bayanihan. So ang daming tumutulong dito, school supplies, tapos marami pang iba, katulad ng mga medical dental missions, sa Mababoy, sa Mamasbate, nakapagpatayo kami ng isang eskwelahan.
Masaya po kami yung nabigyan na kami ng bagong pag-asa. Yun, palagi na kami nandito sa eskwela. Hindi na kami lumalangoy yung katulad ng dati, tapos hindi na kami nalilate. Nagkaroon po kami ng bagong bangka, nagkaroon kami ng bagong pag-asa.
Pilipinas ay may 7,107 islands. Hindi po hadlang layo ng isla sa sunod na isla para maging bayani.
We hope that by giving them this boat, it will not only transport the kids from point A to point B, or not only give them a boat to transport their produce, but really sort of give them a new hope in life.
Good. There we go. So there's our story. Let's go on. And in flame part. So we're referring to page 3 now. Why do you think, and this is under the title of the heading of the lesson, what is the common good? Remember, that's what it's all about. Why do you think J. Habonita, his friends, and the numerous donors decided to help the school children? So you can answer your there and submit it by pausing. Here's a suggested answer. J. Habonita, his friends, and the numerous donors of the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation are shining examples of people helping to solve a social problem through volunteerism, generosity, and love. Through the foundation, children can go to school safe and dry. Thus, the children feel that they are cared for and valued despite their difficult life situation. Consequently, they are more inspired to study and give their best in school. The yellow boats teach the people in the community the value of the common good. In truth, the whole community benefits when the students succeed in their studies. That's a very big, important point. Moving on. Another answer and submit point for you to pause. So back to our question, why? Why do you think J. Habonita, his friends, and the numerous donors decided to help the school children? So we can keep working this question. This is what it's all about. What is common good? It's this and it's that. There's that as well. I mean, we have to think about this part of it. So keep exploring and re-answering and resubmitting. It's not just one answer. I've already answered this one. Okay? There may be many answers, as you may see. However, consider that J. Habonita, his friends, and the numerous donors helped solve a social problem through volunteerism, generosity, and love. How can we help solve the social problems that plague our country? Take a pause, answer and submit. So there are many answers you might consider. However, reflect that many of the social problems that the country is experiencing were brought about by a lack of consideration for the common good. Conversely, if people will think of the common good, then most social ills will be solved or eliminated. try to consider that we all have the capacity to help, and it only takes one person to show love and concern for others to make a difference in the lives of so many people. So now, please answer the reflection questions on page 3. And we would like some answers to we would like some volunteers to share their answers as well. Here's an answer and submit. Do you see an opportunity to do good in your community which can benefit many people? Put your answers in there and then answer and submit to me. 2. How can class officers promote the welfare of all the students in class? 3. How can you use technology to raise awareness and come up with possible solutions to a current problem in your community? Answer and submit. And thank you for sharing your answers. We really do appreciate hearing your ideas. Next, rediscover. So if you look up at the top right hand, we're now on to page 4. Students, I'd like you to read through pages 4 and 5 together with me. Common good defined. All human beings have the capacity to develop and reach their full potential. The conditions of the society where they belong should support and help them fulfill those dreams. Take, for example, a young person who dreams of becoming a doctor someday. Well, he should have access to nutritious food, appropriate shelter, and good quality education. He should have a safe and healthy environment, have opportunities to practice his profession, and thus achieve his dream of curing the sick and promoting the well-being of people. In realizing his full potential, as with others, is consequent to the practice of his society to work for the common good. It means the consequence of him realizing his full potential is that he will be able to practice working for the common good, just putting it a bit simpler. The Vatican II document Gaudium et Spes, if I pronounce that rightly, defines the common good as the sum total of social conditions which allow people, either as groups or as individuals, to reach their fulfillment more fully and more easily. Are you familiar with the pageants, those festival carnivals, that daytime variety shows organize for children? The hosts ask the children what they would like to become when they grow up and their reason for wanting so. The usual answer is a profession: doctor, nurse, lawyer, teacher, fireman and policeman, etc., that would give them the opportunity to help other people. Never mind that the answers were coached by their elders. Still, there is the certainty that such an answer would sway votes in their favor. It gives credit to the child for thinking of the common good. Doctors and nurses take care of the health of the populace. Lawyers defend people's rights. Teachers educate children. And firemen and policemen assure them of their security and safety. Obviously, this is not the prime consideration of many adults. For them, work is usually for personal gain, especially if their conditions are miserable. However, to be successful in a job, one must love one's work. Loving one's work entails service for others. Gaudium et Spes tells us that the common good is the good of all people and of the whole person. The human person cannot find fulfillment in himself, that is, apart from the fact that he exists with others and for others. Since human beings make up the society and exist with others and for others, the goal of society is the attainment of the common good. Common good in the family. Parents and children can uphold the common good in the family through equality, cooperation, and interdependence. It is expected among parents to provide their children with food, education, and shelter. Each member of the family should have access to food for sustenance and the home for safety and comfort. Parents work hard to give their children equal access to education and help them attain their goals and dreams. Within the family, parents and children are expected to cooperate and help one another and live interdependently. Hence, each member of the family must always consider how his or her actions or decisions affect not just other members, but the family as a whole. Common good in the school. School administrators, teachers, and students also promote and practice the common good in the school. The school administrators ensure that all teachers will have access to classrooms, common school facilities, school materials, and equipment. This will allow teachers to teach well and the students to receive a good education. The safety and well-being of everyone in the school campus is guaranteed by school officials. In the classroom, the teacher enforces rules that will allow students to focus on their studies and schoolwork. Students cooperate with one another and understand that their actions affect not only themselves but also other people. They can understand that doing their best in their studies will help them contribute to society in the future for the common good. Common good in the community. Barangay officials or officers of homeowners associations also promote common good in the community. They ensure the safety of the community by having guards or the tanod patrol the area constantly. Also, garbage is regularly collected, segregation of trash is enforced, streets are lighted, should be lit, and clogged canals or waterways are cleaned. Homeowners or residents of the barangay are called to cooperate with the barangay officials in their different projects to ensure the common good. Residents are called to respect the property of the neighbours. As one community, the actions of one household can affect the other residents. So, and we're on page 5 now. So there's an illustration. Students, I would like to ask you to find a way to form 4 groups, as is possible under these conditions, best as you can. So one may be to look at trying to make a messenger group and give yourself a title and then do your work and then submit it on that temporary group. This is the performance task coming up. Now I would like to assign to your groups in the following areas where common good can be applied. And then I would like to ask you to perform a short skit to show how common good is manifested. Performance task. So group 1, common good in the family. Group 2, common good in the school. Group 3, common good in the community. And group 4, common good in the country. Let's synthesize this activity, students. It is very important for persons to consider the common good for the family, school, community, and country. when we do not give importance to the common good, social problems arise and everybody will be at a disadvantage. An answer and submit slide. So now please answer the following 3-2-1 chart. And after, I'd like some volunteers to share their answers. So the 3-2-1 chart on the page, on the Arete page, discovering and committing to the common good. 3 things that I've discovered about the common good. There's your answer. 2 things that I can do to pursue the common good in my school. 1 and 2. And one goal that I hope to achieve this year for the common good of the community. So answer and submit. On to page 5. I would like some volunteers who can share their answers there, please. So once you submit your works to me, you can also volunteer to share it. I can share that onto the group chat. And in that way, we can do sharing to the whole group. Good? Page 6. Valuing a virtue. So next we'll be reading page 6. And let me explain that the featured virtues of equality, cooperation, and interdependence. Equality. In the context of the common good, equality is seen as the right of every person not to be treated in an unfair, discriminatory manner. This means that regardless of nationality, race, tribe, ethnic or social origin, religious belief, sex, means gender, or political affiliation, all human beings have the right to be treated with dignity and respect. Hence, the pursuit of the common good is a choice not to practice repressive and discriminatory ways, practices, or laws. If a society pursues the common good, then all the members must be willing to cooperate so that such a goal will be achieved. It is through a shared vision of a just and fair society and the willingness of the leaders and members to participate and contribute to the attainment of such can the concept of common good flourish, through having that shared vision. Moving on to interdependence, it cannot be denied that a society continues to exist through the interdependence of its members. Simply put, a person who knows the value of interdependence understands that one cannot work and live alone, but needs the help or contribution of others. Members complement one another and benefit from the strength of every member in the pursuit of the common good. The importance of interdependence becomes all the more, significant since every person is important. Hence, every person is given due consideration for every decision or action. There we go. That's the end of that article. An answer and submit for you. Before going on to the trivia, I would like to challenge you all to come up with creative ways on how you all can show the virtues in the classroom, in your family, and in your community. So there you can show those by writing those ideas, and you can answer that and then submit it. Trivia then. How committed is our country to the common good? The preamble of our 1987 Philippine Constitution states that. So you can answer the question, how committed is our country to the common good? You can answer and submit that well. We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations. Promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality and peace. Do ordain and promulgate this Constitution. Let's have an answer and submit. Now, students, think of a way on how you can show your love for your country through an act that considers the common good. Pause, answer and submit. And we can pause here before going on to uplifting realizations. And before the closing prayer then. With your taking a deep breath, a lot to process, and breathe out and breathe in. And reverently do we pray to Thee, the Holy and Perfect One. We earnestly resolve to understand Thy teaching and to daily tread Thy path. So shall, like Thee, we may attain the peace of Nirvana. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. Take care, beloved students. Look forward to our next class.